I would like to acknowledge that this video is being filmed on the traditional lands of the Wurrundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander or First Nations people who may be watching this video today. Hi everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to another reading vlog. This one is probably going to be longer than my last one because I am going to be vlogging over the course of the weekend, and it is a long weekend. I have a ton of stuff to do, including some homework, some planning. I'm away for 2 days of work, so I have professional learning days, so I've got to do the homework for that and plan for not being at school for that, because of course I do. Then I've got to do general housework and things because this place is a disaster zone. That's what's going to be happening this weekend, but I thought for the theme of this reading vlog, I'm going to be reading the books that my members recommended to me. And if you remember my TBR video, I did do a, spin a wheel thingy where it selected Shamrocked, which Carrie had recommended to me. So that's the first book I'm going to read tonight after I have some dinner, but then I'm going to try and read through some of the other titles as well, because I just thought, you know what, they recommended some great things. Some of them I have on my physical TBR, some were on my ebook TBR already, and why not? Let's just make a weekend of it. I need to make some dinner. We had a curriculum day today, so we had a pretty long day with just the staff, but it was great. And then we went out to the pub afterwards, and I didn't get home till 7 o'clock. So yeah, in that time I had one drink from like 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, but yeah, I still just need to eat some food. So I will check in with you soon. Okay, so I'm about to start Shamrocked. It is a 113-page novella by Jolie Sue Burkhart, who wrote the Vampire Reverse Harem series that I read last year. And I've just had a look at the description because I haven't looked at anything. And it says, a gargoyle, a leprechaun and a motorcycle gang walk into a bar. Scratch that, a human woman accidentally walks into a fairy bar run by a leprechaun who keeps a cursed gargoyle on the shelf. Somehow that gargoyle goes home with me and I start dreaming of a man. Bring it on. Okay, so I just finished Shamrocked, and this is about Rianne, who has just gotten a divorce, and the divorce has been finalised. She's gone out on a big bar hopping spree, and then the next morning she wakes up and in her bed is a 2-foot stone gargoyle, and it's just lying in the bed. And it turns out she brought it home from the last bar that she went to. And then ever since she acquired the gargoyle, she has started painting these very detailed paintings of different men. And it turns out that the gargoyle is the physical sort of conduit for an actual gargoyle who is trapped on Earth. And Rianne is charged with tracking down the gargoyle and his 3 companions, who are humans with magical powers. And along the way she meets a leprechaun. This is a reverse harem story. So it was entertaining, a little bit slow to be honest, and a lot of things were happening that had to be set up as they go and rescue this gargoyle, but entertaining. Good morning, happy Saturday. I've just finished filming 2 videos for the upcoming week. I've also been to Pilates. I basically need to clean my apartment and do some work and sort out my mess of a life, to be honest. And then hopefully get some reading done later today. All right, I need everyone to ignore all of the crap that's behind me, but I just wanted to show you, this was one of the jackets that arrived this week, is the faux hot pink leather jacket, and I'm kind of in love, and I can't wait for it to be cooler so that I can wear it, because I'm in love, honestly. Love it. Home sweet home away from home. Alright, so I got home from work. I came home and I started doing some pre-reading stuff for the training that I've got to do on Tuesday and Wednesday. Promptly realised there's about 15 articles that I needed to print out and annotate. And I'd also taken back some books that I'd brought home and I couldn't remember why I'd brought them home. And I'd brought them home for this 2 days worth of training. So I went back to work, I printed all my documents, and I brought home the books. Now I'm going to park myself on the couch for a while, because what even is my life? I think that I'm going to read The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. This one was recommended by Tracy A, but I already had a physical copy of it because I've been meaning to read it for ages, because I know Leanne had also recommended it in one of her videos last year, maybe, or earlier this year, I can't remember. So yeah, I read Shamrocked, now I'm going to read this one. Okay, so now I am showered Why do I always have wet hair on these vlogs? Honestly, mostly because I'm too lazy to actually dry my hair. But I am, gosh, what am I in now? 125 pages into The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. I'm really enjoying it. It is a little bit slow just because it is historical and murder mystery, and also it has the really cool element of having all of the characters interject into the narrative. So it's being told by one storyteller, and then the characters will comment on what has been told in the story, which is a great way to get to know all of the characters that we haven't met yet before we actually meet them and to have a connection to them. But it does somewhat slow down the reading process because you are being pulled out of the main narrative constantly, which totally fine. But I'm enjoying it. It's all the daughters of fictional characters like Jekyll/Hyde and Rappaccini's daughter, and I think we're also going to have Moreau's daughter as well, and Sherlock Holmes and Watson are in the story, and honestly I'm just enjoying myself quite a bit. So Mary Jekyll is the protagonist of this book, and she is investigating the disappearance of Mr. Hyde, and along the way she stumbles across Hyde's daughter Diana, and they also cross paths with Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and they're investigating a murder, and Mary begins to suspect that the two things are connected. So that's where we are at this point in time. Finished The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, and it's an interesting one because it's very cool in concept, and I liked the characters, and I like the fact that it's playing around with all of these classic horror stories, and you have all of these daughters or women associated with those stories, and this is their story. But it felt a little bit long for me, and I think it's possibly only just because this is not my preferred genre to read anymore, so it does take me a lot longer to get through it. But it just felt a little bit more like a slog. It doesn't mean it wasn't well written, doesn't mean the characters weren't great, just possibly not my wheelhouse as much. It is very pretty. I mean, look at this cover. It's gorgeous. Yeah, kind of conflicted feelings about this one, but it is well written. I'm not convinced at this stage I'm going to continue the series unless I feel like something like this again. But very cool concept. Good morning. Happy Sunday. It's very early. Someone just called up on the intercom because they were delivering something. Who delivers things at 7:30 on a Sunday morning? Honestly. So I'm going to get changed. Go downstairs, grab that, and then Brie has her MS story video premiering on YouTube, and I want to watch that, so I'm glad that I'm awake for that. That's one good thing that this very early morning intercom call did, otherwise I would still be asleep. Right, so I was just watering some of my plants, and what I wanted to show you guys is the fact that one of my snake plant leaves, I suppose, that I cut ages ago because it was dying, like it was literally falling over, has started growing babies. 3 of them. These other 2, not so much, but the first one, look at it go. So I've just put it in a bigger vase. I normally just leave it right here behind the TV, and it seems to be doing okay there. So yeah, I think that's where it's gonna stay for the time being. Oh, look at that reflection from the windows. Let's just take the glasses off for the time being because that's distracting. All right, so it is nearly 12 o'clock. I'm waiting for my parents to come past and drop off some mail for me that got delivered to their place. I've also got the laundry on. I will make some lunch probably in about an hour. I don't typically eat at 12 just because I'm used to eating at 1 during the week, just school life. And yeah, this morning I have caught up on book photos for my end of year project, but also for Instagram. I am thinking about going through and grouping them in groups of 10 and just posting them on Instagram because I'm getting really bad, like so bad at remembering to post on Instagram. It's not even funny anymore. I've watered the plants. I did watch Brie's video when it premiered this morning, and it's about an hour and a half long. It is so worth watching, and she is an incredible person. She was very open about her journey with MS and everything that led up to it, and I'm very grateful because it was very informative for me, but also just to support her as a friend because, like I said, she's amazing, and I'm very lucky and very fortunate to call her a friend. And you know, it sucks sometimes that some of my really good friends, people who I've known and gotten to know really well over the last 12 months, are so far away. But you know, one day I will get back over there when I have the time and the money and the will to be on a plane for 18 hours. That's the biggest part. That, like, I can do it, I've done it before, but it takes some doing to sit in a tin can in the air for period of time. It's been a good morning. I've been getting through some things, but now I thought what I would do is read the next book or the next recommendation from my members, which is Shay's one, which is a manga, I'm a Wolf But My Boss Is a Sheep, volume 1. So I'm going to read that now, and then we'll see what I get up to after that. That was very cute. I really liked I'm a Wolf But My Boss Is a Sheep, volume 1. So this one is about Ugami, who is a wolfman who works or was working in sales and has transferred to a slightly different department within a bedding company, and now he is surrounded by his co-workers who are all sheep, which is rather tricky for his wolf nature to get a handle on. And to top it all off, he becomes attracted to his boss Mitsuji, who is a sheep, and you know, sheep are typically nervous around wolves, and Ugami is doing his best to not be intimidating and scary to the other sheep around him, even though some of them try to test it to see if they can get him fired at the start. But it's really fun. I'm looking forward to volume 2. Not that I think anyone actually cares, but if you're going to make yourself a Vegemite sandwich, which is probably the most Australian thing I could possibly do in this vlog, that is how much Vegemite you use. I know people who like to trick other people who don't know how to do Vegemite, and they put tons of Vegemite on things, but your Vegemite is like a tiny fraction of butter because it's strong. And if you don't know what it tastes like, it's a very acquired taste. Every now and then when I have fresh bread, I like it. Please don't judge me for the amount of butter you actually need it to dilute the Vegemite. Anyway, moving on. I actually can't remember the last time I had a Vegemite sandwich, but you know, for lunch, it's quick and easy, and I happen to have fresh bread here, which is the best way to enjoy Vegemite sandwich. I'm here, I have my tropical infused water, which is quite delicious, and I'm going to start reading Ascension by Karis Rohn, which was the last book that one of my members recommended to me. That was Katana, and looks to be angel-y. It's also quite long, so I wanted to start it now in case I want to spread it out over the next couple of days. So let's see how this goes. So I'm kind of conflicted. I am 15% of the way into Ascension, and it is a world of vampires who also have wings, and it's like they're not your traditional vampires, and they exist in a borderland Earth called Second Earth that, you know, is parallel to mortal Earth and whatnot. And we're following Carrick, who is one of the sort of famed vampire warriors who is sent to protect a woman who is set to ascend to become a vampire. And there's a war brewing between the different vampire factions. There's just a few things that are bothering me about this book, and I think it's to do with the fact that it was released in 2010. So a lot of the descriptions, particularly to do with women with power in this book, are bothering me. So I'm going to give it another 5-10% and then see how I feel. But I think that this may end up being a DNF. Not because it's not interesting, I think the concept is really cool, but yeah, some of the things and the descriptions of some of the characters are bothering me just a tad. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to DNF it. These days I find it really challenging to sort of deal with some of the representation that came out in books around 2009, 2010. And I mean, I think it goes without saying we've moved on quite a bit from that time. And while ostensibly this has a premise that I would really like, and I don't regret trying it, because I always like trying new books, and particularly in paranormal romance, trying to find things that are good. But I also think paranormal romance is really tricky to navigate between older and newer titles and finding things that I like. So I'm glad I tried it, and thank you very much to Katana for suggesting it to me. It's just one of those things where I don't think I'll get through the book, and if I did, it would be rated fairly low. So yeah, which is disappointing because I don't like DNFing books, but you know, sometimes it just happens. It happens that way. So that would be the end of this particular vlog, because those are all the titles that were recommended to me by my members. I think my favorite of the 4 was definitely I'm a Wolf But My Boss Is a Sheep, just because it was so cute and fun and just adorable. It was great. But it was really nice to try new authors or different books by authors I've read previously. Like, I've read Jolie Sue Burkhart's Reverse Harem series, but hadn't read anything else, so it was nice to try that. It was nice to try a different take on vampires. And I'm really glad that I actually got through The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. So even while that one was a little bit slower for me to read, it was really fascinating to see how someone had taken all those characters and given them children, and more specifically daughters, and how those daughters were standing up 2 monsters in their time, and this was fun. I like doing this. I like trying new things. Like that's the whole point of doing reading vlogs where other people choose my TBR. So thank you very much to Carrie and to Shay and to Tracy and to Katana for suggesting books. Hopefully I'll do another one of these in a couple of months as well. I hope that wherever you're around the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.